Well, I don't have the connections, the contacts, you feel me? I mean, at first it was
Look, all these other people getting these endorsements and sponsorships. Meanwhile, I can barely pay my mama rent.
Well, when it comes to someone getting behind Claressa, for someone to say, you know, I want this girl to represent my brand.
I've been wearing the lip gloss and the girly clothes just like y'all said.
And that is helpful, Claressa, it really is. But, for example, we would love you to stop saying that you like hitting people and making them cry.
Why?
He just seemed like a bully.
I box. I am a bully. Floyd a bully, Ward a bully. Hell, even Ali was a bully.
Yeah, we understand that.
So I can't be a bully because I'm a girl.
Yeah, I get what y'all saying. I get what you're saying. It's a perception thing,
Exactly.
right?
Oh, so it's my fault now.
Rest. Come on now. You're trying to help us, okay?
What happened to staying true to who you are? I won that gold medal by being me. And now to get endorsements and shit, y'all saying I gotta be somebody else?
I know that you're disappointed. So are we. You deserve so much more recognition.
Nah, I don't deserve it. I earned it. All right, I earned that gold medal. It's a big difference.
She just wound up right now,
Keep
y'all.
it real. What?
What is it, Claressa? Is it the money? Is it the recognition?
Money is recognition. Ain't no offense, Mr. Coleman, but that $1,000, it ain't shit. Not when a man get 3 times as much, and ain't none of them want a gold medal. Hell, or any medal.
All right, Rest, come on and sit
Nah,
down.
man.
Takes us through the story of how she started boxing at 11 years old, all the way up to her winning 2 gold medals at the Olympics. She is trained by her boxing coach, Jason, who takes her under his wing and sees something in her that he's never really seen before, even in younger boys, and starts the process of training her from a young age, and how she grows and grows and becomes a teen, and how her life has to then start balancing between being a teen and also juggling the fact that she's training for the Olympics. So it is a very, very inspiring story of a young girl who goes through so much in her personal life and overcomes that, while also overcoming the fact that she is in this male-dominated sport as boxing is, and overcomes that and becomes a champ.
Well, my name is Claressa Shields, also known as the Igboke. Born and raised in Flint, Michigan, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 13-time world champ, pound for pound best female fighter in the world. If I had to describe myself in the ring, I would say like ferocious, dangerous, caution.
There's a historical moment in sports that happened with this young athlete named Claressa Shields from Flint, Michigan. She is the first female boxer to win 2 gold medals. Also, she's black female. And she won these medals, I believe, consecutively. And it's about her coach as well, Jason Crutchfield, who was also a boxer, a champion as well, and just their journey to her road to success in boxing.
Claressa is incredible for at such a young age, realizing that and fighting for it at such a young age. You know, I don't think many people would take that into consideration and try so hard and voice their opinion the way that she did. I think it's a very important conversation that we need to continue to have. But at the same time, I'm seeing so much progress, especially this year, which is why I'm so happy that this movie is coming out this year in particular, because I think the moment in sports that women are having right now is just so cool to see. I'm like so excited every time I turn on a sports channel because it's exciting, and I think people are finally opening their eyes to how exciting it can be to watch women do incredible things. And I think this story as well just falls right into place with that and aligns with that so perfectly this year.
You know, this is a true story about this wonderful phenomenon that is Claressa Shields. And it seemed to be a story that was truly anchored in family, because, you know, the dynamics between a coach and their athlete is a very special one, but also very complicated and very nuanced. And I think what's really great is that we got to peel back the layers of the onion of who Claressa and Jason are to each other and how her road to success was developed. Also, there was a wonderful documentary called T-Rex that followed them, her road to the Olympics and her training. And so we get to really just see everything that leads up to that. I think the script really reflected a lot about this human connection, right? So often we get to see athletes and we just know them for their talent. You know, we never really get into the fibers of who they are. And so what Barry did here is he really got to show the complexity and the care of who Claressa and Jason are to each other.
The physical training was a lot. I think I went into it knowing that it would be hard, but because I had nothing to lose, you know, I just kind of went in and fell all the way into it. I had an amazing boxing trainer named Rob Sally, who really, really helped so much along the way and really became my coach in a very real boxer way. And I think going through that also helped me understand the trainer boxer story a bit more. You know, I think it clicked for me how much you count on them and need their guidance and need them almost in the room with you to feel confident in what you're doing. And I felt like that with him. And he's an amazing trainer, textbook boxing trainer. I love him so much. And he really didn't hold back with me. And I got into the best shape of my life, for sure.
I was very impressed with Ryan Destiny's physique, her boxing, her skills. I can tell that she put in a whole lot of time in training. And honestly, I couldn't tell the difference between me and her. You know, if you were to put some of my old footage side by side with her footage, you'd be like, wow, you know, she definitely was able to mimic those parts. And you can tell that she really trained boxing. And I was just very, very proud of the film and definitely proud of her.
It's very interesting because when I took on the movie, I didn't realize how much influence Ryan would have on me. I really, really cared about her process. And I found like, you know, I kind of stepped in and became kind of like a mentor to her too. And I'm also like at that age now where I'm like, am I old enough to be, like, do I know enough to be, you know, share any wisdom with anybody? If anything, I'm always telling the youth, like, don't do what I do. Like, don't, you know, but I see so much potential in her, you know, take after take, I just saw like her really, you know, digging her heels in the dirt and really trying to, not even trying, successfully embodying Claressa. And so, you know, there would be times I'll pull her aside and we have a conversation about like, what, you know, what's going on here? Like, we'll connect this way, we'll do this. All right, what if we go in here and we do, you know? And I got that charge that Jason must have gotten when he saw Claressa throw that first punch. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of why I love the movie starting that way, when she's a child and she gets in the ring and then she just starts like beating up old boy. But it's real when you see the potential of somebody. It also harkens back to the people in my life, some of who are here right now. But like acting wasn't anything I ever thought that I'd be able to do. You know, I loved it, but you know, I'm, you know, this kid from the South, like Fayetteville, North Carolina, like not many opportunities came through there for me to feel like I could break out in acting. And, you know, if it wasn't for my mentors that along the way that saw the potential of who I am and said, no, you can actually do this. So how do we hone it? You know, how do we really craft it? Because there's something in there. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. You know, that's another big reason why I took this movie, because I also wanted this to be a love letter to them.
I mean, it was a journey to get to the point that I got to. I mean, I think playing her, it came with its own set of challenges because it's a real life person that you're playing. And on top of that, she is who she is. So I definitely had a lot of pressure, you know, put on myself. And I knew that the story was so important that I felt that I had to get everything that I could right, you know, as much as possible. I definitely studied like crazy, all the interviews I could find, every fight that I could find, and also her documentary, T-Rex, by Zachary Canaperi and Drake Cooper, who are also our producers on the film. And that was really a blessing to have that documentary became my journal. I went back to that for all the years that it took to, film. And it was very, very helpful. I mean, we literally have some scenes from the documentary in our film. So to have that and be able to go back to it and match it as close as I could was really fun for me. So just little things like that, I think, really, really helped along the way telling a story like this.
Well, the research that it took for this was something very brand new for me because this is a real story. So these characters aren't just characters, they're actual living, breathing human beings that exist. I made sure to really, really watch T-Rex quite often just to make sure that I could understand Jason's dynamics, to see how he moved, see, the timbre of his voice. But really, the research that really mattered the most was my connection with Ryan, because at the end of the day, that, like I said before, the coach-athlete connection has to feel really lived in. You really have to feel every sinew of who they are to each other. And that's nothing without trust, right? And so, Ryan Destiny, had already been a part of this project before I was in there. She's been training for months. Like, she had to go through all the things that a boxer has to go through. And like, I had it kind of easy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the coach. I'm the one that gets to bark the orders. I'm the one that gets to, So, but I really wanted to make sure that Ryan felt safe and trusted me, because at the end of the day, this relationship of Jason and Claressa's is real. And, he has known her since she was a child and literally created this champion. And at the same time, there was still this kind of, not kind of, a familial bond, It also is very much father-daughter as well, Like, he took her in and raised her and cared for her every step of the way. And, and she cared for him in the same way. So I really wanted to make sure that dynamic showed in this movie, because like Ryan and I, it's important what you see on screen for sure, but what happens when Rachel says cut is even more important. And, Ryan and I's relationship is very unique and very authentic because we really do care about each other. I mean, she's ended up being like my little sister, but I also knew the, ferocity with which she had to attack this role. And I wanted to just make sure she felt safe and make sure she felt secure, make sure she laughed when, things felt a little heavy, make sure that we kept the levity, because that was also part of Claressa. She was still a teenager, training. And so it was really important to me for us to just have that kind of lived in friendship. So therefore, when it was time for us to get into their bodies and show their story, that it felt, authentic, really.
I think what inspired me most about Claressa's story is nothing. It wouldn't be just one thing for me because there's so many things about her. We are literally the same age. She is from Flint, Michigan. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. There's just so many parallels there, and her achieving what she did at such a young age was so inspiring and not normal, and not only is it not normal just in general, she's also a Black woman in a space that's so male dominated that it is just incredible to see a person with so much resilience and how she came out and how she's not stopping. And I think all those factors go into why she's inspiring and inspiring to me in particular. There's just so many things. So it's hard to pick one.
I think my upbringing made me who I'm supposed to be, especially for being a boxer. It made me tough already before I got to the professionals, where you have to fight for equality, fight for equal pay, fight for equal fight time, equal opportunity. It was like I was already used to fighting already. So me adding that fight to my list and being able to accomplish and knock down some of those doors, it's like, I think Flint prepared me for that early on.
It's hard to be a Black woman in this society. Let's just start there. It's hard. The challenges, the restrictions, it's just hard. And I watched it, right? Now, on top of that, add that you're this Black woman who is trying to succeed in a sport dominated by men, trying to find equality when it comes to pay, when it comes to how you can be, you know? There were so many things that Brian, while filming this movie, was like, what? Like, I just remember, I was like, wait, she can't, they don't want her to say that she's the best boxer? They don't want her to say that she likes to beat things up? They don't want her to, like, but also at the same time, she's a black woman. And so when her white counterparts are out there doing it, they were like, you gotta be more feminine. You gotta be more soft. You gotta be, she was always, like, the fights in the ring weren't really the biggest fights of her life. The fights of her life happened mostly outside of the ring. Like how she always had to fit or, change parts of herself in order to, like, it was incredible to me to watch this young black girl have to do that. But also at the same time, on the other side of that coin, she fought and won in that arena too, because she's the one that changed the wage gap between female and male boxers. She's the one that was like, I need to make the same as these male boxers. She is the only female boxer that has two gold, like, I want us to really, like, and so, I don't know. There's a lot that I feel, especially right now, with how important this movie is for not just young black women, and not just black women, but, black men too, brown men and women too, to see this story, because in a world full of no's, in a world full of no's, in a world full of doubt that tells you that you just cannot be yourself, that in order for you to succeed, you must do it this way and look this way and be this way. Claressa was like, nah, nah, period. Like that, she just never at one moment took that as her gospel. And what I love the most about Jason is that he wrote that with her.
Rachel Morrison is our director for this film, and working with Rachel was kind of like working with a sister. I feel like she was with me every step of the way in a way that was so genuine, so present, and she really cared so much about this film, about the story, about me, thankfully, and making sure that I felt comfortable and I felt like I understood what was going on and we were on the same page. And I'm really thankful for her for this whole process. It's been me and her, I think, the most that could see eye to eye to each other, and seeing this film go from start to finish and all the obstacles that we went through. I think no one really understands it like me and her too. So I'm very thankful for her, and she did an incredible job. And she and Rena, our DP, were amazing at capturing a lot of these moments and worked really well together as a team. And they're all women, and it was awesome, and I think we understood each other on a different level because of that as well. And it meant a lot to all of us. And I think you can see that in the work.
What I will say about Rachel is that her eye is unlike anything I've ever seen. One of my favorite moments on set with Rachel was we were filming this scene where, Claressa's getting the news that I can't go to China. And you just watch Rachel come from behind the monitor. She's like, no, strap me up. And you're like, what? And so she takes the camera and like it's boom on her shoulder. And like she just go, and that's where she lives. Like that's where she lives. Like I don't think I've had an opportunity to be in a film or any, with the exception of Hero Mirai, where I get to see the director just, get in there and really go back to the roots of like why they got into film to begin with. I think that Rachel is incredibly powerful. I think that she has a huge heart, and I think that her heart was really poured into this film. Like she slept with this film, woke up to it, fed it, showered with it. Like it was a part of her, daily life. And you could feel that on set, I mean, look, she's unlike any director I've ever worked with. Like sometimes she come on set skateboarding, you know what I mean? Like Rachel's gonna be her. But I think what's cool about it is that there's a fresh take when it comes to Rachel. I think that you're not gonna find anybody that cares that much about like every single element of what goes into making a film like she does. Like I remember there was a scene where we were filming at night, and so technically this is a period piece, you know, because this is early 2000, 15, 2000, and she was like, no, we need sodium bulbs. Like these are LED bulbs, we need sodium bulbs, and I was like, what is she talking about? And immediately when it switched, I'm like, oh, and she's like, come look. You know, that's another thing I love about her. She wants you to see. And it's like, this is what you're, like, it's so beautiful to watch how she can really, like, all those elements, like, really matter to her.
Barry Jenkins is the writer of our film. And Barry is, I think we all know, very special. And he was the perfect person, I think, to write and tell a story like this, because so much of our film is less words and more emotion. And I think that he is so good at capturing the relationships and the complex relationships between a character and whoever they're speaking to. And I think he did it really amazingly. And I'm just honored that I got to tell some of his words and the story that he wrote. So it was really, really cool to be able to work with him. Never thought that that would happen this soon in my life, but I'm thankful for that for sure.
The biggest advice that I gave the Paris Olympic boxing team was believe in yourself, remove all doubt. That's what I had to tell myself both Olympics. Like, sometime when you're on the biggest stage of your life, like doubt creeps in, and you're sitting there in your room and you're getting ready for your Olympic match, and you've been preparing for a gold medal this whole time, and you've been telling yourself, I'm going to get a gold, but then something creeps in your head, and it's like, well, you know what? Maybe you should just settle for silver, Maybe it's going to be too hard. Maybe this person is too tough. And it just creeps in because you have other people doubting you too, and you're fighting in front of the entire world. So it happened to me. And how did I overcome it? I just prayed to God to remove all doubt, and I believed in myself 100% more. Like, getting ready for the fights, when I walked to the ring, even when I watched the film, I'm like, man, I have a look on my face that shows like nothing's gonna stop me. And that was just me praying that God remove all doubt. I want to believe in myself 110%. And listen, I want to go out here and conquer. I know that I can do it. It's just all about executing the game plan. So that was my advice to the Olympic team. Like, hey, look, a lot of people are not going to believe in you no way. So what is the harm in believing in yourself? There is no.
Ryan, I could say so many things about Ryan, because I truly, truly do care about her and love her very, very much, and feel like I won't be able to get rid of her even if I try. Like, she's just gonna be a part of my life for the rest of my life. We watch men do this all the time, right? Like, we get to watch men transform themselves, become, from Bull Durham to Rocky. We get to watch these actors do it all the time. All the time they get to do. And so Ryan approached this in such a way that she was going to give everything she had no matter what. Every single day. Every single day Ryan did it. And I love that. She didn't run away from it. And because it was hard. Like, I watched her. I hated eating with her. I was like, man, wait, it's like, you're doing that today? But the discipline, the absolute discipline. But also, Ryan, it's amazing because I don't think she has any idea of where she's going to go, and I do. I see it for her, man. Like, but she has no idea, and it's exciting to watch that with her. It's exciting to see these things unfolding in front of her very eyes. It's exciting to see her step into these places and these spaces where she's revered, and people get to experience her, and people get to see who she is. And I can't think of a more fitting way to do it than playing, a historical boxer. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fated, I think, for Ryan. And listen, like, she is my friend. Like, that, she is my family. Like, I left that movie. I think leaving that movie with the relationship that I created with Ryan was the best thing that ever came out of it for me, honestly. Like, it was truly to go on this journey with her, to watch her go on her journey is like, to me, it is worth its weight in gold. And so I'm glad that if you haven't heard of Ryan Destiny, you won't forget her after this. And I hope for her there's a sense of absolute pride because she really, really, really gave her everything in this. She elevated me as an actor. She elevated me as a person. I will never tell her that. Like, I will never be like, yeah. But like, truly, she's one of a kind, and she is very rare talent. And I think that this is a role that she was born to play, is destined.
I think what I want audiences to take away is resilience and understanding that the person that you have to believe in most is yourself. And hopefully they get from it that there's so many ebb and flows in life, and I don't think it's ever going to stop. What matters is how you react to it, what your emotion is towards it, and how you push yourself to keep going. And Claressa is someone that does that flawlessly. And I really think once they watch this, they'll be inspired for sure to move the same way that she does through life.
I'm really hoping that this movie does a few things. Like, I hope that this movie, one, enlightens people and shines a light on Claressa so people never forget her name ever again. So people know that she deserves to be in the pantheon of all these great boxers, male, female, whatever. She's one of the greatest boxers ever. So this movie burns that into people's brains, like, oh my God, yeah, Claressa Shields, you know? But I also hope that it shines a new light on Flint, you know, like, because Flint is also the hub of creating champions and also the hub of hope, also the hub of resilience, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, it is a resilient city. The people of Flint are resilient people. And it's so great that this moment of this movie going out to the world is happening for them, because it's like, you know, it gets to peel back, you know, that cloud that people have tried to put on Flint, that kind of like, you know, just the element that they've tried to like layer on Flint, which is there, but also there's also this. It created these characters, this family, these people. So that is something that I'm really hoping that The Fire Inside does.
My advice to the next generation of boxers is, especially women, build your brand. This is the days of social media. People respect the followers, they respect the blue check marks, and it makes you money. So every fighter won't be able to be pound for pound number one. But if you have a brand, you can go out and you can venture out and do different things and still make a living for yourself, even without a belt. So build the brand, build your brand. You know what you want your brand to stand for, and just stand for something.
I think audiences should see this film in theaters, not only because it comes out on Christmas Day. I'm the kind of family, like, we will eat, open present, and we go to movies. Like, it's like the best thing to do, because everybody's already on that high of joy and hope, wanting hope and like festiveness, and what's more festive than a boxing film? Especially a one shot by Rachel Morrison, just to be very clear. I think it's best in a movie because, like, that's what we do. We go to the movies to see boxing movies all the time. Like, you know, in English called Boxing Day. You know what I mean? Like, so what, like, why not go and see this on the big screen? Because, like, you're gonna feel more, you're gonna see more. Best to do it with other people, you know, have that experience. That's what the movies are for. That's my favorite thing, is like, it's a communion, it's fellowship, right? It's fellowship. And this movie deserves to be received in fellowship because, like, it is a celebration. It is, and boxing on the big screen, you know, I don't care what it is. You could be at home in your you know, DIY theater. It's not gonna compare to seeing it on a big screen. But the way that this movie is captured is so big and so alive and so filled with spirit, honestly. And I think that the best way to receive that is seeing it on the big screen. Like, there's nothing like watching, you know, Claressa doing her fights, which Rachel, I mean, I'm telling you, Rachel's cinematography is out of this world. But you get a truer connection of who Claressa and Jason are to each other on the big screen. So please, like, go on Christmas to see The Fire Inside in theaters.
I'm here to pay my mom's bill.
So you're her, right? You're the boxer?
Yeah, golden girl.
There was a girl named Claressa came into the gym tonight. What you think about girls boxing?
Don't see no reason why she can't. She got hands.
Hey, Mama.
Talk to you, man.
Going to bed. I got training in the morning.
When you win that prize money, we get our own place. Just us.
USA Boxing hasn't won a gold medal since 2004.
Yeah, well, none of them boxers was Claressa, was it?
As long as I'm boxing, I'm gonna be okay.
So you on a path, and everything you see out there is just one more thing to get in your way.
What you doing?
You think I don't know about what it's like to be 16? Hormones all everywhere?
Don't nobody want to hear about your nasty hormones.
Oh, you don't? Well, I'm gonna tell you, though.
When you gonna rip the Nike?
Soon, bruh, soon. What's this?
That good protein.
Can I at least have some fries?
Coach Jason say no French fries.
We going to China for the qualifiers. And after that, it's London. Can't nobody beat me. This just ain't what I thought it would be. All these people getting these endorsements. Meanwhile, I can barely pay my mama rent.
Maybe it just take more time. I would love to represent Claressa. It's just much harder with women athletes.
It's not fair, but people expect female athletes to behave a certain way.
I won that gold medal by being me. What happened to staying true to who you are?
It's way bigger than boxing, Russ. So it's gonna be up to you to show who Claressa Shields really is.
If I'm trained for the second gold medal, I'm gonna need exactly what the men get.
Is it the money? Is it the recognition?
Money is recognition. This ain't just about me. It's just for all the women.
Folks around here know that if Claressa Shields can do it, they can too.
You've seen more in your 16 years than most people seen in their entire lifetime. I want you to take that fire inside of you and turn it into something good.
Hey, yo, you represent out there. Show 'em how we do it in Flint.